my name is Paul. Today I'm going to make chili mac, that is macaroni and cheese with chili mixed into it. Now, there's one little problem. When I was making the video, I have no idea why I kept using the word spaghetti instead of macaroni. I don't know, Freudian slip, some hidden part of me that wants to do a video on spaghetti. Probably will do one, no promises. But I kept saying spaghetti many times when I meant to say macaroni, and the only problem is I didn't want to do the segments over, or in some cases there were pieces I couldn't do over because I set them right in the middle of something that happened. So when almost all the time when I say spaghetti, and you'll know the ones when I mean it, when I say spaghetti I meant to say macaroni. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so what do I need to make chili mac? First, after it's made, I need something to put it in. Now normally that would be a bowl, but since I can't find my bowls for some reason, I'll use a plate. I'm gonna interrupt here for a moment because after I started filming this, I found the bowl I was looking for that I used to put the macaroni in. So anyway, a bowl to mix the chili and the macaroni in. You also need a colander to put the boiling macaroni in after it finishes cooking. I also need a plastic spoon to stir the macaroni while it is in the pan boiling, because it sticks to the pan if you don't stir it every so often. Chili. In this case I'm using the store brand from Giant, but if you have a preference you can use the national brand. Now I have 2 cans here because it really depends on how I feel. You know, for the amount of macaroni and cheese I'm making, 1 can is probably sufficient, because you don't want it to be too much chili, because then you get, you know, it depends on your taste. If you like more chili, put more chili in. If not, go with 1 can. And of course, macaroni and cheese. The shells and cheese are simple to do because you just boil the shells and then you open a foil packet and pour the cheese over it. So it's real easy, as opposed to the other types of macaroni and cheese where you have to make the macaroni. You boil the macaroni, you get it cooked, then you pour the cheese powder in and you add milk to it and mix it up. It's cheaper because you're doing much more work. This is easier and it's a little more expensive, but it ain't that bad. Now I have a brand new microwave oven, which we had to get because somebody here in the house burned out the last one. And it's a nice brand new microwave, much bigger than the previous one if you've seen my other videos. The only problem I've had is that trying to make anything that uses boiling water, which means any kind of pasta product, in a microwave oven is damn near impossible. You just can't get the water hot enough on any reasonable scale. It takes longer to make boiling water in a microwave than it does just to boil it on the stove. So, need a pan to boil the water in. And now I will do exactly that. Now, what I'm going to do is fill this with, doesn't really matter whether it's cold or hot, but I don't have to measure the water here because of one simple thing. This is just being used to boil the macaroni. That means that I don't need to measure it because I'm not going to add anything. I'm not going to use the water for anything else. So basically, now that this is full of water, I can boil it. Turn the water on. Continue running it until it's still the automatic spark stops clicking, at which point the main thing to do now, there are 2 ways to do this. One is to throw the macaroni and cheese in the water right away. The other is to wait until it's boiling and then throw it in then. It's just a matter of what you think is best. I have never found any difference in the way it works. So anyway, since I'm going to wait until this is boiling, we'll cut the video here and I'll come back to it when it starts boiling again. About halfway, I don't know if you can really see that well. The water is giving off slight bubbling. Slight bubbling, and it is vibrating a little. It hasn't quite reached boiling temperature. I would not stick my hand in there. Ah! 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 No, I would not stick my hand in there. Partially because I happen to be very fond of my hand and I don't want to pull out a severely burned hand. So anyway, in a few minutes, this should be hot enough for me to throw my macaroni in order to soften it, in order to cook it. So it's going to take a couple more minutes, maybe a little longer. They say a watched pot never boils. Now, I don't know if the lighting here is good enough that you can see there's steam coming off of the pan. And it has started to get, for lack of a thing, I call it air bubbles, there's another term for it, but right when you're boiling something, along the edge, it will get little bubbles. I'm not sure what they are, but it happens just before it gets to boiling temperature, so we're almost there. I don't know if it's bright enough to see it here, but it is starting to bubble. There is a spot right about there where I'm starting to see bubbling on the edge. So if this isn't boiling water, it's close enough. Punched a hole in the package here, which is probably not big enough, so even with a good solid finger, it's hard. By the way, as I've said in previous videos, I'm supposed to have the fan on so that it doesn't smell up the kitchen wherever I'm cooking, but unfortunately, again, if I turn the fan on, you can't hear me. So, presume I would be having the fan running right now. Oh, I just lost a piece of macaroni. Anyway, the first piece goes in, and the rest of it goes in. Now that has to boil for about 8 minutes, so I'm going to put 8 minutes on the clock. Anyway, I'm going to push timer. 8 minutes. So there, now you can see the clock says 7 minutes left. So once it's gone down to 0, then I'll be able to take the spaghetti out of there, which you can now definitely see is boiling. Now all I have to do is wait for the clock to ring to indicate that the, I almost said it again, the macaroni is ready. And in a moment, because it says 1 minute on the clock, meaning it's got less than a minute, it has less than a minute to go, because it counts down. 0 is when it's ready. But it's been boiling for 8 minutes, so that should fairly make it soft. In a moment, see that here, which I didn't know it did that. I didn't know it did that. Let me focus in on that a little bit. So you can see it's going to tell me that I have 40 seconds left before the spaghetti is ready. So in half a minute, and again, I said spaghetti, so please ignore me. 10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And now I'll hit the clear button and that'll stop it. And I'll turn the pan off, presuming I can get my wheelchair to turn. And now I will empty that into the colander. Okay, you can clearly see, I can see it in the viewfinder myself. You can clearly see the steam coming off of that. So what I'm going to do is get my pot holders and empty that into the colander. 1, 2 pot holders. Anyway. Look at that. I'm not asking it to do that, but it's crawling on me. Is there anything left? There's a couple of small pieces which I can scrape off. Not too bad. I had 3 pieces stuck to the pan, which you can see, well, if I could see, yeah, you can see that's empty. And here is the bowl of macaroni. Again, I almost said the wrong word. So, I have 2 choices now since I don't have a bowl. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I keep forgetting. Here it is. I pour the macaroni into there. I'm going to open the package of macaroni and cheese, or I would if I had a pair of scissors, which I had last week, but I got a knife. It'll work. Oh, I cut my finger. Just kidding. Anyway. Cheese sauce is in the bowl here. What I basically have to do is stir that up, so I need a fork, which I'm going to eat with anyway. So anyway, now that I've stirred it up, you can see. So actually, in fact, I think I'll just use this instead of the plate. So what I'm going to do right now is open the can of chili. Okay, there's the macaroni. Now, I'm going to empty the chili into this as best I can. That's the worst thing about having the camera right there, is that your hand keeps getting in the way. I keep wanting to make this remark about this is probably the way the first porn flicks ended up, when people found out they had to have sex in really unusual and strange ways in order for the camera to see them. Of course, that brings up the question, what do you say when someone asks, do you watch porn on the internet? What's the correct answer? Not as much as I should. Anyway, since we have this brand new, very large microwave, I'm going to put this bowl in there. And I'm going to give it about 2 minutes. This one has a 1-minute button. My previous microwave had a 30-second button. Okay. I can feel the steam coming out of it. Here I can see the steam coming out of it, and if I can get to it, you can see it's pretty much mixed together. So anyway, I'm going to try this now that I just finished cooking it, see how it tastes. I'm stirring it a little bit, see how what it's like. Mmm, excellent. Yeah, it's well mixed. The chili doesn't overwhelm.
Okay, all right.
Mm. This is delicious. Anyway, this is delicious. I'm gonna finish this and go on to something else, probably editing this video. Anyway, again, maybe I didn't say it again, but anyway, my name is Paul. Thank you for watching. Email Paul at paul-robinson.us. Hi. Want to mention one other thing? I have to scratch my ear. 3, 2. Hi. I want to mention one other thing. While I was doing the video and after I had filmed it, I found the bowl I needed. So anyway,